to the show with no name. I'm Adelaide Palmer, and my partner in crime is
hiding in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
She's actually producing the show today. We started the show with no name at about a year ago.
26 episodes ago.
26 episodes ago, because we wanted to bring to you people in the community, charities, not-for-profits, and service clubs. I started with people, ended with people who are doing amazing things to help those around them. And today we have the lovely Georgia and Sharna. We're on location at the Golden Grove High School. And thank you to Golden Grove High School for letting us come in and crash your party here. We've got a lovely little new meeting room. So we'll come back with some murals here. But it's very clean. It's very clean. Now, Georgia and Sharna were given the opportunity to participate in a World Challenge expedition to volunteer in Vietnam. So tell us a little bit about how did that start?
So World Challenge came to our school about July last year, where they basically gave us a presentation of a past expedition and went through everything. And there was, I think it was all like 10, 11, 12 that went to the meeting. And then out of that, you could pick up an interest form. So when I found out Sharna wanted to do it as well, we both did that, and then doing more meetings. And that's where it started. We found out how much it was. We straight away fundraising. And then we had a few meetings at school, and a lot of people started pulling out. And it got to the point where they had to cancel the trip to our school. And at this point, it was to Cambodia and Laos. So we had a few options, and we could get a full money refund. And then we could do the Europe trip, which was like the Spanish homestay one. There was a Malaysia trip in 2020, and then we could join Modbury High School to go to Vietnam at the same time of the year. So we're really thankful for Modbury.
Yes. So you girls are hooked in on the Modbury.
Yeah.
And so you go over there and meet with the students
and have meetings over there.
Yeah.
We do have a live viewer here with us today. Speak of the devil, Glenn Mitchell.
Hello, Glenn from Rotary. Tea Tree Gully Rotary. Oh, it's the only speaking to me. Yeah, this is the first time we've actually used this format with the only over there behind the computer and me in front of it. I feel like I need to do something with my hands, so I'll just
sit on them.
I'll sit on them. Okay, so
if I do that, I'm mute.
It's not all about us though, it's actually all about you. So thanks for joining us, Glenn. Please share and make sure that other people in the community get to know about the amazing things that these two girls are doing, because anyone can, can't they? So when you connect with, I'll get off my hands now. So you connected with Modbury, and was that a bit, like, I would imagine if I was by 16, and going into another school after being in one school and meeting a whole bunch of new kids and doing, was that a little bit, was that okay, or did you find it took a little bit to settle?
At the start, we were really nervous. We walked in hopefully this works out well, and then they'll welcome us nicely. And we got in, got together, had some conversations. They kind of split us up a bit, did some bonding with the other people, and then eventually we formed nicely and do activities together, and we can really work well together now. So.
That's really great. I love that, because it just shows that you can, local schools can cross-pollinate. And, So when you found out about the World Challenge expedition, what was it that made you decide that you wanted to go? So,
I think it was more seeing the volunteering part. So giving back to the people that aren't necessarily as living as well as we are. Yeah. So it was nice to just see that, and the thought of getting to do it made us want to do it.
Yeah.
I just love helping people and going and traveling the world and doing stuff I love. So yeah, it just really interests me, and the photos and just the beautiful environment. Yeah.
I know Vietnam's somewhere I'd like to go as well, but you moved to Cambodia and anywhere in that area of the world is just,
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And do you have activities, or do you know what you're doing when you're over there now? Or
Not the actual volunteering work. We find out a couple months before we leave, but we're not for 5 days, and it's right at the end of our trip. So before that, we've got like treks and stuff that we have to do, and just like traveling around and all that sort of stuff before the actual community work.
Okay.
Like exploring, meeting people, doing our own activities.
So you get to immerse yourself a bit more in the culture of the country as well. Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Are you learning any other language? Are you?
We'll learn like the basic things,
Yes.
but yeah, it's hard.
Yes, I would imagine it would be an easy language to learn. Yeah. So that is the World Challenge Expedition is obviously a formal organisation that goes around to schools and
Yeah, I think it's all over the world as well, so not just in Australia.
Okay, well and then they organise I suppose field trips, is that what they call it, or volunteering opportunities. So well, that's brilliant. Now I've just got some notes here, so I will have a look, and I just noticed that you both also work as well as fundraising, as well as going to school. So you're both in Year 11 here at Golden Grove. So how do you manage that? How does that work for you? Because seriously, I'm impressed.
With the fundraising, like on top of work and school, it's a bit hard because like most of my shifts are weekends. So that's normally when we walk the pamphlets and like pick up the cans. So I know a few times Mum's done it with like my brother or a friend of hers because I haven't worked. But most of the time it works out right. It's a pretty busy weekend sometimes.
Well, it's difficult, but we seem to work it out pretty well and work around what we need to do first and other things that come before it.
So you've got, you mentioned you're picking up the cans.
Yeah.
And I'll just go back a step before that, because your mum's your brother, and you've got your mum. Kylie, shout out to Kylie. And Amanda, who's just over there. So amazing. I will address you because it is amazing how you support the girls to do what they want to do, and and make this sort of a reality for you. So I think to have the support of your family. You said your brother's involved as well, and it really does. We've got a thing that Fiona and I say, it's #it takes a village. And so any one person can't do it by themselves, but you band together. And just exactly what happened when it didn't work, wasn't working with the school here, and then you got together with the Mulberry School, and that's part of the whole village community helping each
the
other.
collaboration between the two schools is amazing.
And I think it's just really is excellent. Of course, having the support of your families, which is really cool as well. So you were saying, now let's go into the fundraising, because you said you were picking up, and I have to say this is what I found. I won't show you the script on the back, but this, can you see that? So this I found in my letterbox probably about a month ago. When did you? In the St Agnes area.
August.
So about a month ago, and it said your empties a form of opportunity, and that caught my eye. So it was a very clever copy. Whoever wrote it, we can talk about that in a minute. They can come and write copy for us. So very, very clever. And then it was about, you said, who you are and what you want to do. And that you're trying to raise 6,500 that you each need for your airfares and the big expenses for the 3 weeks that you'll be in Vietnam. And then it's as easy as, here's a catch. I love this. Your help won't cost you a cent, but it will really help us make a difference. And that's, seriously, who wrote that?
One of our mum's cousins, she organised that.
That's very good. Go Mum's cousin. It's as easy as putting your cans and bottles in a bag next to your letterbox on, and that date has gone past, but you've done that more than once, because I've seen this. I've only ever got one flyer in the letterbox.
So every month we go to a different, a new area, and we've done about 28,000 houses in the northern suburbs.
Oh my God.
You're a Fitbit, you know how many
So that's 28,000 houses.
It's a lot of walking.
And how do you find, you know, when you're doing all that stuff, and apart from getting fresh air and sunshine and knowing that you're doing good for yourself and the community and giving the whole community an opportunity to help you help another community as well, like this just gets, you know, really cool. But, and with people you raised, you know, your mum was saying about 85% of,
Yeah.
So
Worked really well against like.
Yeah, and like people contact us and ask to make donations. Like we don't go out and ask for money because that's just something that we don't really want to do. So people have just called up and said like, "Hey, I want to make a donation." Like, yeah, sure, and yeah, it's just amazing. So.
or they say, "Hey, let's do a live show." So if you weren't doing that, none of this would have happened, and you wouldn't have been able to, you know, sort of.
Yeah.
I think it's really unusual like that. I see this sort of initiative being taken, and you know, back when Golden Grove, you know, when they pulled out of the program, it was, and you just had the.
Yeah.
I'm going to say gumption. It's a really old-fashioned word, but you just, you know, just kept going, and I think that's just pretty amazing. So kudos to both of you.
Absolutely, it's easy to give up when things aren't going your way, and when your own school's pulled out.
Yeah.
To think outside the box and think, let's contact this other school. It's amazing.
And I think what made us do it even more was the fact that we'd already raised so much of our money, so we didn't want to we couldn't really go and give everyone their candy back or anything. I think we sort of had the mindset to just keep going and figure out another way to do it.
And so many people just like, so many kids that were in it here in the trip, they would like looked at the cost and like, how are we going to reach that? And like George and I just jumped on fundraising straight away and tried like our hardest to do as much fundraising as we could. And like so many people pulled out just because they couldn't afford it. Like we probably won't have to put much into it. Like we're going to reach our goal. So. Yeah.
And that's another thing that, am I allowed to say? I'm going to anyway. Amanda's laughing. We were talking earlier, and Amanda was saying that, you know, the parents can fund the trips, or the families can fund the trips or contribute towards it, but to see, and some do, but seeing you actually getting out there and doing it under your own steam is just, it's so impressive.
Yeah.
Well, it also brings to the community the cause as well, because many wouldn't have heard of, I don't want to get the words around the wrong way.
The World Challenge, I did.
You were reading it and you stuffed it up.
Just say anything, you'll be right. World Challenge Expedition.
Yeah, so there'll be, well, I've never heard of it before. There'd be many others as well. So doing that fundraising, getting it out in the community helps raise that awareness as well.
I never really heard anything about it before until they came to school, so I'm glad they did come to school and gave us the opportunity to get involved in it.
Yeah. So do you know when it is next year?
It's this year.
What?
It's this year.
It's this year.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2019. Why am I thinking 2020? Oh my God! So
that was the other one.
That must be very soon.
It's on the 30th of November.
Because we're running out of this year.
Yeah.
30th of November, it will be back just in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome. So, and you're 85% there. And how can we help you get over the line? I do know a shout out to Modbury Gold Grove Rotary Club. That's what I was saying to Glenn. Teacher Gully Rotary Club is past member there, and he's president. So the Rotary Club do some amazing stuff, and they have
Wishing Well.
Wishing Well,
and the chicken joint for us. So
and
they
we
gave us the they gave us the Wishing Well, and then we picked the spot and location and the chicken joint so that I've taken on and leave it in there. And
so give the chicken joint a shout out too, because we
and their customers.
And their customers, yeah. So if you tell us, where's the chicken joint?
It's off Ladywood Road.
Yeah.
In Modbury Heights, just near the Woolworths and the shopping centre.
Oh, okay. Yeah, someone in that is. Yeah, by the high school.
Yeah.
So if you're in that area, if you go to the chicken joint, do pop some dollars in the wishing well. I've never heard of that. That is so cool. And you can support these girls to realise their fundraising goals to leave on the 30th of November. Oh my God. So is there any other fundraising that you're doing?
Yeah, so last year we started doing like the Cadbury chocolates.
Yeah.
The boxes of those, and we like went around to like all
I would
the
have been more.
we ate a lot of them.
I want to see Mum's face.
Mum's like, I'm paying this trip to Cambodia.
Next we walked around to the local footy and soccer games, and so it's like the parents on the sidelines, and that worked really well. So last year I think it was about 4,000 chocolates.
Wow.
Which was good. Yeah.
Wow.
Then we did some this year, like going around, we just put them in like workplaces and stuff, and we sold about 3,000 maybe.
Yeah, that's another one that's coming.
Yeah, that worked really well.
And last year we did a wine fundraiser, which we did really well, 40 bottles.
Wow.
That went really well, and we're doing another one at the moment.
To the teachers, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are doing it through the school, or is it?
Well, like Mum spread it through her friends on Facebook and stuff. And
Guess what, folks? We've got an opportunity for you. Give it a plug.
and so did Sharna's one, like they sent it out to all of them, and then one of the teachers here, who is like the organizer of the trips and stuff, she's emailed to all the teachers.
So we're trying to get it around to as many people as we can and get as many orders as possible.
Look at the camera and tell us how we can help you for wine drinkers. Where do we find the website?
We have a Facebook page, and it's called Vietnam Trip 2019, and on the page I've got like an order sheet.
Yeah.
So the page will be tagged above. So click on the page, visit the page, and definitely, I mean, other than a dare, who doesn't drink wine? If you're over 18.
Please, if you're over 18. And is there anything else that we can do to help?
Yeah, if anyone has any cans or bottles that they want to give to us, donate to us. Yeah.
So you're 85% there. How much is the 15%?
So our aim is $10,000. That will cover the actual trip as well as the stuff we need for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then any extra money we'll donate over there. So buy like bags of rice, or we found out that they only have like one mattress per house and they all sleep in there. So we can like buy mattresses somewhere and like help give them to them or something like that.
Awesome stuff. So cans and bottles. Amanda, are we allowed to pop your phone number in there so people can call? I won't read it out now, but it will be. We didn't even practice that either. It will be in the body of the post above, will be above, as well as the link to your Vietnam 2019 Vietnam trip 2019. Get it right. So thank you so much for joining me, agreeing to. And I think when I called your mum, she must have thought, who was this for? Now she knows. Now she knows it's true through this. And our intentions are honourable. We do wish you all very success and that you reach your fundraising goals and then some, so you can make a real difference in the community.
And if you're up for it, we'd love to interview you when you return to see how it all goes and see what you got up to over there.
Yeah. Keep in touch.
Yeah.
Got your mum's number now. I know where your Facebook page is.
We know where you go to school.
So thanks again, girls.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm Adair Palmer, and Theone Rusianos is in the corner down here, wherever she is. And we are live on mytimetv.live for the show with no name. I had to think then because it's a virgin today. For the show with no name, and we're syndicated out to over 50 channels of TV on demand through the Binge Network syndication program. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you back at our regular time next week at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday. That's Australian Central Standard Time for the show with no name. Bye for now.
Bye.